Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. And this is actually a pretty decent sized job. Big basement area, and I got 2 flights of steps, so it's a pretty big job actually, because this is a big area down here. And there's quite a few spots and stains. I vacuumed everything, of course, and all these little darker marks are where I pre-treated. Carpet's about 20 years old, and notice all the looseness here. And I'll tell you why this is happening. Well, there's various reasons, but see, even here, I think a little bit over here as well, yeah. And here, as you can see, all these are all stains. Some of them are actually urine. These 2 or 3 or 4, and I think another one, and that one over at the bottom of the steps. There's 2 big dogs. I don't think they come down here too often and do their business, but clearly they're doing it sometimes. So, yeah, usually happens more than people realize. But I wanted to just tell some of you guys who haven't been around all that long something that will be kind of helpful to know. So, what happens is when carpets are laid, most of the time, what the layers are doing, they're coming in and they're flop the roll down onto the floor, and they're going to roll it out, and they're going to cut it along the edges and whatever, cut it into place and kick it in. And that's where they make the mistake, or not mistake, where they reveal or show that they don't care about what they're doing, because this big room absolutely needed to be, should have been, and I doubt it was, power stretched, as opposed to simply kicking in. Kicking in is what you do when you've power stretched it and you've pulled the slack out, because between that wall and then this wall and over there, there's a huge amount of square feet in here actually. I think it's like 600 square feet maybe or more, just there alone. That's a lot of area. And okay, fair enough, that's what they're supposed to do, and they often rarely actually do that. And most people aren't going to realize that, because even though the carpet is actually not tight enough, because the way carpet broadloom works is it needs to be attached over here and attached over here onto the smooth edge, and then tension put on the back. There needs to be tension, because the underpad, and this carpet does have an underpad, on a carpet that's laid on an underpad, is meant to be able to kind of bounce on the underpad, and that gives the carpet more resilience, and it will last longer. But if it's too slack, then what happens is the carpet then is there's no tension there, and all the foot pressure, impact on the carpet is then absorbed by the yarn itself, rather than it's almost like taking the suspension out of your car. That wouldn't work very well. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. And the other factor that comes into play is this particular carpet. This is an olefin. It's almost like a commercial grade carpet actually. It has what's called the action back. It'll be like a plasticky looking olefin or polypropylene plastic back. Kind of a mesh, looks like a jute back, except it's polypropylene. And what happens is that has ability. It really has quite an ability to stretch that backing actually, and that's fine. Except what happens is when they go to lay it, they need to have that. They need to power stretch, particularly larger rooms like this. And the other factor that comes into play is what time of year they do it. And turns out that I said to her, well, if they lay it in the winter, if it's cold, and they bring this roll of carpet in, and they go to lay it down and start installing it immediately without allowing that carpet to come up to temperature, then it's not going to stretch very well at all. It's going to be it's very hard to handle, because when it's cold, it actually becomes very stiff, and it's not pleasant stuff to work with. It definitely is a much easier carpet to work with when it's warmer, and then it becomes more pliable. It literally becomes stiff. And And so they, so when it's cold, it's hard to work with, and they don't bother power stretching it because they're in a hurry usually. And we know when the time was that this was laid was when everybody was really busy, because that's after the fires had come through Kelowna, and there was a tremendous amount of work and new carpeting getting put in, and carpet layers were making money like crazy, and rush. That's when this was put in, and it was put in December. So those factors come into play, and then you go, okay, that explains why we've got such a lot of slack in this carpet. Now, it can happen anyway, because over time, these carpets do have a tendency to they can stretch, depending on how much, action is on it. And also depends on the how good the underpad is. You want a heavy gauge, there's 6, 8, or 10 pound underpad. You want the 10 pound. That's what we did in our house. We said, I want the best underpad, because I know that's the key. That is really critical. Yes, we've had no need to stretch anything in our house, although we did in our previous house, which was new and had actually the same carpet. And within 6 months, it was actually starting to show slack in the master bedroom, which is a fairly big room, and in the living room, which was fairly big. So there you go. Interesting, huh? And the carpet exactly the same, the house we have now. And the carpet's over 10 years and no sign of needing to be stretched at all. So there's some food for thought, and something that, you guys, carpet cleaners out there who maybe don't know about those sort of things, that's a bit of information that'll help you when you're dealing with customers who are saying, especially when they say to you, you stretched my carpet. You don't do that. You can't do that. Carpet cleaning can't make this happen. But what it can do, let's say, as I clean this carpet, I'm going to work my way, say, across the room. That slack right there, I could actually literally move it across the room as I'm moving back and forth with the machine, because the machine is, about 100 pounds. And yeah, you can actually redistribute the slackness. You're not going to create slackness, but it might reappear or move, say from this ripple right here, it actually might move over a little bit. So bear that in mind. You're not going to be able to cause that to happen, but you can change the way it appears. So keep that in your mind, guys, especially if you're using an OP or a rotary. Anyway, let's clean the carpet. So there's quite a few, obviously, a lot of stains here. You can see I pre-treated. I just sprayed that side, and I'm using the green stripe again. And by the way, this is a carpet that I would choose a green stripe on anyway. This is ideal for the green stripe bed, I think. So let's see what happens. And I don't expect I'll need to post vacuum this carpet. I don't think it will anyway. We'll see what happens here. This is kind of like best case scenario for a carpet, I think. Oh yeah, loves that. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah. Yep, I can tell right away this is going to clean fantastic. And you can see how fast that thing's moving. And the AstroTurf, one of the reasons I really like this on commercial carpet, which basically this is that AstroTurf, those stripes on there really scrub the fibers, and it really likes that. Look at that. It's just coming alive. That stain completely gone. That was a urine stain. And I won't have to post vacuum this carpet, and I'll be doing obviously a single step. Oh, yes. That pad is flying on the carpet. Now, I had somebody mentioning something about rotary machines and the weight. This machine, I believe, I think it's about 75 pounds, I think. Go on the centermachines.com website to get the information about that. If that's, I think I'm right about that, and that's an ideal weight actually. It's not a really, there are machines out there, I think it's the Clark, it's 109 pounds. That is not a good idea. If you're going to be doing residential carpet cleaning, you do not want a machine that weighs 100 pounds or more. You add a tank onto that and whatever, even without the tank, 109 pounds, that's just that's too heavy. You know, I have the Orbot as well as the Vibe, and I think the Orbot is, it's with the spray system on it, I think it's 119 pounds. You absolutely feel that, even when you're bumping up and down steps. You know, I've used it in homes, in the past, and it's like, oh, it is too heavy. That's just too much weight. There were some stains right here. You can see they're coming out without any problem at all. So I just add a little bit of solution, just like that. Do not need to add very much. One of the things about the pad is, of course, it actually gets, the bottom of the pad gets fairly wet, and it will hold that moisture pretty darn well. The top of the pad, assuming that you're doing it correctly, will not get wet at all. You know, again, some people say, well, you can't shower free because you'll get the pad or the bonnet all saturated and it won't work. Well, no, you won't. Well, okay, you will if you're not doing it right, but do it right, and obviously that's not a problem. It just is no problem at all. So anyway, let's go back over here. So easy to do, eh? Effortless. Stain right here. Stains right here. There's a water stain right by that door right there, which I pre-treated. Looks like that's where the hot water tank is, so I guess maybe maybe I leaked it sometime. They do that. Usually, by the way, when I measure a room such as this, when there's a pool table, I don't usually deduct. Oh, there's a great big stain there. I never saw that before. I don't usually deduct for the where the pool table sits, because I almost always go right underneath it anyway. But that's actually a real nasty looking stain. Leave that sit for a minute. I'll come back to that. I don't think I ever saw that before. That's a heavy chair. Should I move this? Oh, I think we can do that. Yeah. I was wondering if it was sturdy enough, but it's okay. Yeah. No legs falling off. There we go. By the way, I mentioned in a video the other day about my wife having put out a Facebook ad and boosting it, and at last count, over like a couple of 3 days, we had 17,000 views on it. And that was the one where basically it was a real simple ad, just saying something about Oxy-Dry and come and see us at the home show. 17,000 views at last count. That's pretty doggone impressive. Now there's a weird looking stain here. It wasn't visible till I came over with the machine, so that's kind of weird. You can see it's actually quite dark. That tells me that I'm probably going to need to put some proxy on here, which is fine. I'll go and do that before I'm done. Actually, tell you what we'll do is I'll just do this section right here. I'll go grab it. Got to do these steps plus another flight too. Oh, there's Mr. Boots. Hello, Boots. How you doing, Boots? So this is a proxy, which is apparently, so they say, about 6% peroxide. And I find it works just fine most of the time when I need to deal with a coffee, wine, or whatever stain, because the CO2, stabilized CO2, doesn't seem to work for those sort of things. But that's why we have that. Anyway. Okay. We shall continue. Let that sit for a bit, and we'll come back to that when I finish the rest here. Now, one thing I should mention here is this is a carpet. It's got a loop to it. It's a fairly low loop, obviously, but it's a pretty stiff carpet. And this carpet would be, if you used an OP machine on this, you'd feel the vibration, and it would want to tug one way. Would want to go with the grain. You know, we run into, when I've used my OP machines in the past, one of the things I really didn't like, add to the other things I didn't like that much, but anyway, was when you get onto some carpets and they really didn't want to be, the machine wanted to go one way or the other, and it would fight going in certain directions. I can remember one job that sort of stands out in my mind, where I went in to do the job, and it was a loop carpet. was a fairly heavy loop, and I started using my LP machine, and it was just, oh, it was just really not fun at all, and the machine was really fighting the carpet. So I stopped. Fortunately, I had my rotary in the van as well. Took the OP machine out, grabbed the rotary, and I was like, okay, why do I keep trying this? The rotary worked wonderful, nice and smooth, and no problem at all. I think that the reason that people have got the negative connotation or whatever about rotaries is this myth that it's an inferior cleaning machine, because and that's been perpetuated by, you know, usually guys that sell LP machines, of course, you know, presenting the OP as being a superior cleaning machine, and you know, they've managed to convince people. I was convinced, at least I was convinced from a theoretical point of view. But then when I got my LP machines and started using them, I began to realize, yeah, this isn't quite as fantastic as they're saying. Yes, they work. Yes, they'll clean. Yes, they're a good choice. But there's absolutely nothing about them that I find is better. I can absolutely clean better with my rotary machine. But then again, I've been at it a long time. I've learned a few things. And it's not necessarily all about speed anyway, and I guess I've said that before. I sound like a broken record, I guess, but some guys haven't been watching my videos as long as others have. So I guess I need to be a little bit repetitive. And I don't sell rotary machines. I recommend this one because I know it's the best one there is. Nothing is as versatile. Nothing is as powerful. Nothing is as well built. All the factors, all the features that you want in a low moisture carpet cleaning machine, this is it. I mean, here I am using a machine which is, it's only 15 inches across at the base, but I can put an 18-inch pad driver on there, and I can clean, you know, commercially with this thing and do over 4,000 square feet an hour. That's faster than anything else out there, by the way. But that's not the reason, or the main reason by any means, for choosing it. You know, think about it. There's guys out there that are spending over $100,000 for a truck mount. And you're complaining that you got to spend $2,000 or $3,000 for a rotary? Yeah, that's, put it in perspective about how much money the machines can make for you. That's really the way you need to look at it. And don't forget, it's all a write-off anyway. And if you're really starting to make money, you've got to be able to, you got to spend some of that money rather than pay the tax man. Spend it on your business rather than giving it to the tax man. See the stains coming out? You've got to move a little bit slow on this particular carpet, I guess you've noticed. Some carpets you can really fly on, but others are a little more fiddly diddly, I guess you could say. This isn't fiddly really, it's just, you just got to move along at a slower pace, especially on, well, at least on the stains anyway. But you can see it's working. And these are Most of these actually are urine stains here. So I pre-treated them with the suspend with the stabilized CO2 in them, or in it, I mean. Yeah. Just give it a good working. Make sure that that pad and the AstroTurf really gives it a good scrubbing. That's what's really, I think, the key to these pads is the AstroTurf is really quite effective at scrubbing the fiber. And I can hear it now. Some thinking, "Oh man, that's too aggressive on the fiber." No, it's absolutely not. I've been using the Hog's Hair fiber pad. It's way more aggressive than this. And it doesn't hurt the carpet. I guess it would if you ran it dry, but you're not going to do that, are you? And I'll tell you what's more aggressive on your carpet fiber is the dirt napper, or what is the other name they call it? Dirt napper, or well, you know what I mean. The one with the one with the pad in the middle and the brusher on the outside. Oh, I can't remember what they call it. There's a couple of different names, but they're actually it's made by Malish anyway. They're just a couple of different guys selling them under a different brand name. But those brushes with the pad in the middle, the brushes are, I've used them for a few years. I did use them. It's actually intended for commercial carpet. It's not intended for residential. The bristles are too stiff. Unless they've changed them, and I don't think they did. But I know the ones that I used to use, yeah, it's definitely too stiff for certain carpets. Meant for commercial carpet. Like this. But this is working perfect. This is ideal. See, this carpet really needs to be scrubbed. And it's getting a really good scrubbing with this AstroTurf. It's perfect. Okay, let's go back to that other stain over there and see if the epoxy has done anything to it. Hasn't yet. That's an odd one. Very different looking stain than anything else on this carpet. So So this is the suspend again with the stabilized ClO2 in it at 3000 ppm. That just looks odd, that one does. Oh, looky at that. What do you know? Does that look better? I think so. How interesting. So, I'm telling you, this suspend, this seems to be a really good thing. Oh, I gotta go over here too. Did I do this before? I moved it. Did I go over it? I can't remember now. Anyway, that's, oh look, I can hardly see it now. What do you know? Oh, yeah. I think we got the, oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? Oh my goodness. That's why I just love doing this, man. When you see that sort of thing happening. Look at that. I can still see it there faintly. So we're just going to go nice and slow. That's 300 RPM. 360 degree passes on the carpet per second. $18,000 per hour. I think it works out to. Oh, look at that. Just let it go to work there. Okay, I can't see that stain anymore. I think we got her. It must have been maybe like a big drink, soft drink or something like that. Although usually they come out pretty easy, but there you go. Let's go over here. And this is where that pee-pee stain was. Apparently it was pee. So we're gonna turn the machine off and we'll take a look and see what the pad looks like. I'm very curious. What do you think? Is it gonna be black? Yeah, let's have a look. We'll move this back here. And the answer is, isn't that amazing? You know, it's weird how this works. You know, sometimes I'll clean a carpet and it just doesn't even look dirty. Like that white one I just did, and the pad comes up black. Other times, the carpet looks dirty. I clean it, and then look at the pad, and there's hardly anything visibly on the pad. That's weird how that works. What you see on the pad is not necessarily an indication of how well you've cleaned. What indicates how well you've cleaned is how the carpet looks. That's the important thing. So, I think it's got to do with the type of soiling. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Actually, I don't know. All I know is the carpet looks wonderful, and it'll look that way when it fully dries, which will be pretty quick. Yeah, it's going to look just wonderful, and it does already. So, okay, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.